Yeah, we have the recordings now. Okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, before we start looking into what we have to do today, I want to show us a couple of things, right? Um, let me, okay, my screen is up. I want to show us a couple of platforms. I'll bring lead code. I'll bring neat code, and then I will bring HackerRank. Call this HackerRank. Let me bring it HackerRank. Um, I want this to go to the landing page. HackerRank. Yeah. Why am I showing us these things? So the essence of to learn is to in, right? So most times when you want to interview for certain job roles, they do something like a DSE, right? Is it DTE? What do they call it again? Is it DE or something? So, but yeah, basically it's DSE, data structure and algorithm, something like that. I think that's the word. Yeah, I skipped. Yeah, but so they'll give you something like maybe algorithm questions to solve, right? So these platforms, you can create an account on them and then practice different kinds of algorithm, right? I will try to solve at least maybe 2 or 3 algorithms today so you understand what this thing implies. So these are the things that help you to start thinking like a developer sort of, right? So this is HackerRank. So you can see become the next generation developers. We have thousands of companies hire, upskill, and next generation of upskill the next generation of developers, and millions of developers become one. So there's need code, a better way to prepare. So it helps you prepare for technical interviews, roadmaps, trusted by engineers at Google, Meta, OpenAI, and other top companies, right? Then you have Lead Code, a new way to learn. Lead Code is the best platform to help you enhance your skill, expand your knowledge, and prepare for technical interviews. Right? I think I can't remember the name of the other guys. Uh, was it Coach Chef also? But yeah, while learning, this was the platform I played with the most. So I can get rid of these ones. Let's keep this one. In my early days, I used these guys a lot, a whole lot. So it helps build your algorithm skills. So basically, this platform helps you build your problem solving skills, right? How to solve problems. So they give you like a couple of problems. You try to solve it on the platform. And let me see. Oh, I have an account. Yeah, I know. I can't. Oh, invalid. Let me see. I have not logged into this. Like, I can't remember when last. Oh, that my account no longer exists. Let's try this. Continue with Google. Option. Yeah. So it allows you to technical screen, coding challenge, system design, behavior, and AI influence. Yeah, but most times I found myself doing these two, either coding or system design. Right. This one is free. This guy require you to buy, yeah, require you to do a certain subscription, right? For the mock. uh, system designs. And then, but the other guy is free, the coding guy. So you don't necessarily need to do this system design. So yeah, this is the best place to start. So it's for software engineers, front end and back end engineers. So you can try this for free. Let me see. Is this now paid? Are you kidding me? Let's check the other one. Let me find other ones. Uh, Free platforms to learn and practice. Let me see. And practice coding slash algorithm challenge. Okay. I guess you can try this for free. Okay, software engineers. Okay, let me go with this. Free trial. Oh, I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Or this is an interview. No, this is not what I want. So let's go back and see. Um, Code Wars. Yeah, that was the name I was trying to remember. Code Wars. Yeah. Just meet yourself. Destiny, please meet yourself. Do you want me to help you do that? Okay, yeah, Code Wars. This was what I was looking for. Yeah, these guys. Oh, let me try to log in and see. I think I should have an account here too. Yeah, you see, I have an account. This was a long time ago. It's my humble beginning. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, this was my level 6 KYU. I forgot it. KU. I forgot how they used to pronounce this, right? Yeah, I was. Okay, so this is what this guy does. You could just check codewars.com. Let me share the link in the WhatsApp community so I don't forget. Yeah, so this is what basically this guy does. You just create an account, free account. You have like a practice area, so you can pick like spend a long time here. So you could pick like the language. Yeah, I think we are looking for JavaScript. Let me see. Progress. No, these are more like algorithm challenges. I want to start with something very basic. All right, let me see. Oh, difficulty. So we'll start with 6. 6 is like the easiest, right? So followed by these and these, so you can keep upgrading up. So let me go with the easiest and see. So it load up and return all these challenges. Let's just pick this one. So you can click on the challenge. Yeah, but I think there's another way you can even easily use this. Okay, no, you can start from here. So it's on TypeScript. I can change this from here to JavaScript. So usually, I think this guy has a light mode in case you guys are not seeing my screen. Yeah, I think the visuals is better now, I guess. So let me zoom in a bit. Let me zoom this guy. Yeah, I think okay, this works. So they'll give you like a problem. Phillips just returned 4 and he wants to know how old Philip just turned 4. So so this is like a challenge that Philip just turned 4 and he wants to know how old he will be in various years in the future, such as 20,090 or 30,044. His parents can't keep up counting this, so they have begged you to help them out by writing a program that can answer Philip's endless questions. Your task is to write a function that takes two parameters, the year of birth and the year to count years in relation to. As Philip is getting more curious every day, he may soon want to know how many years it was until he would be born. So your function needs to work with both dates in the future and in the past. Provide output in this format. For dates in the future, you are years old. For dates in the past, you'll be born in blah blah blah. If the year of birth equal okay, if the year of birth equals the year requested, return you are born this very year. Wait, sorry, I'm trying to accept somebody in the call. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are to be replaced by the number followed and preceded by a single space. Mind that you need to account for both year and years depending on the results. So this is like an algorithm question, right? So you are expected to solve this. So okay, I think there's usually like a platform where you can solve. Wait, let me see. Okay, I think this is under train. Yeah, you click on train. Let me see. Yeah. You click on train. So you have the algorithm here. So this is the output. This is where you can be seeing your responses. So this is the function. It's a JavaScript, right? If you're writing Java code, you see this is interactive. But yeah, we're doing JavaScript. So they gave you sample test cases. These are like sample test cases. If maybe they pass in year 2012 and 2016, it means you are 4 years old. If they pass in year 1989 and 2006, you are born 27 years, you are 27 years old. So basically, this is what the algorithm is doing. Your question is straightforward. His parents can't keep up counting, so they have begged you to help them out by writing a program that answers Philip's endless question. Your task is to write a function that takes two parameters, the year of the child. So let's say you put in your own year of birth, right? The year of birth and the year to count years in. Let's say maybe you're born in 2000. So you first pass in 2000, and then okay, right now in 2023, the program should now tell you this is how old you are. So yeah, that's just what this thing expects you to do, right? So you most times I've actually had multiple interviews where I've been asked to solve algorithms like this, right? And I think I also remember there was a time I was preparing for one interview, a JavaScript, a Java interview. And then I was also practicing algorithm challenges. And I think I even pushed some of those things in a repository. I created a repository for that. I think I called it Java. Let's see. What is it? Java. Yeah, Java algorithms. This was 2025 in February. So these are like different questions I was trying to solve. You can see the question, an array with an odd number of elements is said to be centered if blah blah blah. So this was like me trying to solve Java and all. I've actually forgotten my Java. Interesting, right? Yeah, so this is like this platform then gives you that you can come here, practice, and then see your answers. Okay, let's try to solve this and see. Your task is to write a function that takes two parameters. So this is your function. It begins with the function keyword. That is you trying to declare a function, right? It begins with the function keywords. Then here, this is where you can pass in your parameters in between this place. So we are taking bet year, so we can call bet year, and we are taking target year. Let's call this target year. Right? So these are the two things we are taking. Let's take this out. Then you can so let's say in a real life situation, you were born in let me bring calculator. You were born in yeah, I want us to first like understand the problem. Why is this calculator not coming to my second screen? Okay, let me just do this. Okay, I'm doing this here. Yeah, good. Good. Makes sense. Let's say you were born in year 2000. Let's say 2003, for example. We are currently in 2020, 2026, and you want to find out your age. How do you usually do that calculation? You do 2026, right? Minus 2023, right? You now get your age. Oh, you're 23 years. So that's basically how you calculate people's age. The current year minus their year of birth. So we are going to do that same thing here. So we could say something like const, let's call this, what am I going to call this? Let's call this maybe age. Yeah, age is equal to the target year minus your birth year. Oh, this is capital Y minus your birth year. So this will return your age. So this is your age, right? But we have some edge cases we are dealing with. We have this already is giving you your answer, but we have some edge cases. Let's go back to the question. Your task is to write a function that takes two parameters. We are taking two parameters. The year of birth, that's birth year, and year to count years in relation to that's the target year. As Philip is getting more curious every day, he may soon want to know how many years it was until he would be born. So your function needs to work with both dates in the future and in the past. So you're dealing with, so we have a case here. We have a case of, we can say, we have a case of, wait, let me read further. Okay, we say, let me just continue. We have a case of future year of like, he may want to know what's happening in the future, right? Future. So like basically what we're trying to say now, I was born in 2003. So I'm curious, by 2040, how old will I be? That's the future side of it now. So that's the case we are looking at here. So, and then we have another edge case that, okay, he may be curious about the past as well. This is like me saying, uh, I was born in 2023, right? 2003, right? But in 1990, maybe like what is the age, the time from 1990 before I was born? Like how, yeah, how many years are behind in the past before I was born? So this is like we're looking at a case of past. Let's call this a case of the past. And then let's look down the algorithm, the question again. Born dates in the future and in the past. So we have dealt with future and past. Provide output in this format. Your answer should be in this format. You are dash years old for dates in the past. For dates in the past. For dates that are in the past. Sorry, this is for future dates. For dates in the future, you should do this. So let me just copy this. This is for future and put it here. And then for dates in the past, you will be born in this. This is in the past. This is in the past. Oops, come back. Oh, sorry, I mistakenly submitted. Okay. If the birth year equal the year requested in return, you were born this very year. Okay, there's another edge case here. Let's say, like I was given a scenario, I was born in 2003. I now put my birth year to be 2003. I put my target year again to be 2003. So that's where you now have you were born in this very year. I don't know if that makes sense. So that would be like, let me put that edge case above here. We could call this is a case of born in same year, right? So this is the message you have to output. This message. Oh, sorry. Anytime I mistakenly save, it runs the code. Huh. So I think these are our 3 edge cases. Okay, let's read the instruction. Does the dash 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 are to be replaced by the numbers followed and preceded by a single space. Good. All right. We have done if, right? We can just use, use a very simple if to do that. We can say something here like if the age, right, is equal to 0, how will the age be equal to 0? Let's go back to our calculator. Okay, let's say you give birth to a child in 2026. You now say, okay, what going to be the age of the child in years? That's 2026 minus 2026. This is going to be giving you a 0. So this is the case whereby your birth year is the same as the target year. This is the case here, same year, right? Your birth year is the same as the target year. So when you do this subtraction, your target year minus birth year to give you 0. So if this guy gives us a 0, we should return this message. This is the message we are supposed to return. This message. Semicolon. and mistakenly submitted again. All right. So this is for this particular case. Then for the case of the future, right? Future, the future, the future, the future. Okay, we can do something like this. If age is greater than 0. Yeah. Anytime I do command save, this thing runs. Thank you. I'm not submitting yet. So if age is greater than 0, it means if age, remember first, if age is equal to 0, it implies that your birth year is the same as your target year. But if it is now greater than 0, it is obvious that your target year is greater than your birth year. Let me use calculator. But this is what I'm saying. If I said I was born in 2003 and currently we are in 2026, if I say, okay, my target year, remember I'm born in 2003, my target year is still 2003. So 2003 minus 2003, this will give me 0. Obviously, I'm imputing the same year, right? But if I now say, okay, 2026 minus 2003 equal to 23. This thing has given me a number greater than 0, right? So it is obvious that they are looking at maybe the future, right? I can put in, okay, I can even do something like 2040. That's in year 2040. Now I'm curious, how old will I be in 2040? I'll be 37 years. So this is greater than 0. I'm looking at the future, right? So when we get age greater than 0, we are now doing that for the future, right? So we could then do something like, at this point, we could find okay, let me see how they respond. They say you are dash years old. Okay, we could just, let me try this. Let's just return. I'm using backtick. I think I've showed us backtick. You are, then here I want to pass in the age, years, oh, go stop. Oh, it's trying to call now. Okay. So now let's look at the past. So for the past, let's say I was born in remember I'm using 2003, right? I was born in 2003. And I'm now checking. Assuming it was in my target year is now 1990 minus 2003. This has given me a negative number, right? And negative numbers are numbers less than 0. So at this point now, my condition will be that if age is less than 0, return backtick. This is the message they ask us to return. It sits here. You will be born in let me just pass in the age here, but I know this algorithm is going to fail for sure. Okay, yeah. So this is the first iteration we have written, right? So we're going to run it. We're going to test it. So it's going to test it using these values. These are like the different test cases. And then the ones that will pass will see pass, the ones that will fail tell us that, oh, these ones have failed. right? If all of them fail, we'll see get a prompt in our output here. So let me run test. So it's sending in my request. 0 is not defined. Where did we? Oh, okay, yeah, it's here. I think instead of typing 0, I use O. O. So, and yeah, this is how to get those errors, right? Let me undo and bring. Okay, this was where I made the mistake. You can, if you're reading your error logs, 0 is not defined. You can then check. I think this is line 4. I want to see if it is easier for you to debug these things. Yeah, but this is obviously on line 13 here. I was just able to pick it. Okay, let's test again. Let me test this guy. Let's see. This thing used to give a better output. Expected 4 years old to equal you are 4 years old. This guy is, I don't like the way they output this thing now. Okay, yeah, basically what I'm trying to get here is now one of those test cases field is telling us that expected 4 years old to equal 4 years old. Oh, makes sense. So I think it at this stage here, we are outputting you are 4 year, and then there's this in brackets, the S in brackets, old. So that they expect this thing to have been this. You are 4 years old, not this. So now, but let me show you, there's something that is going to happen here. I've removed that bracket, right? I'll test it. It will pass, but it will fail for some cases. Let me see. Let's see. That's failed for some cases. You will be born in 10. Okay, it's here. In minus 10 years old is equal to. Okay, let's remove this and this. This is still going to fail. I need to fill here. Exactly. You'll be born in minus 10 years to equal positive 10. Where is this thing coming from? Oops. Oh, no. Wait. I wanted to explain something. Okay, I will see have it. So it's coming from here. You know, this is a past year, and then this is like a past target year, and this is like my current year, right? So if you do this computation, it's giving you a negative. So it is that negative that is coming here. It's coming here. That's why this guy is yelling that, oh, you shouldn't have been a negative but a positive. So then how can we make this guy positive? How can we make a number positive? I don't know if anybody has tried that. Converting a negative, basically converting a negative number to a positive number. Has anyone tried that?
It's by using absolute value.
Yeah, you can do absolute value, right? I'm looking for a very simple approach. So yeah, by absolute value, this is what he implied, right? You could change this thing to something like maths.apps. Yeah, maths.apps. You pass in the, and this is going to give us a positive number. Now you see where is it feeling? Oh, math is not defined. Okay, I'm using, oh, it's not math, it's math. There's this, see, yeah, you see, it's passing for this scenario now, and then it's failing for something else. But I don't want to use this approach. this looks a bit advanced, sort of. So I can, the simple way we do things like this in math is, okay, let me see, I have minus 10, and I want to convert minus 10 to a positive number in mathematics. You could just do multiply this thing by minus 1. It changes, right? So we could just do a very simple, could do something like age multiplied by -1 here. Sorry, this is, let me run test this and see if this is going to work. It should work. Yeah, this is work. So it's just age multiplied by -1. Same. So I'm just trying to use very basic approach in solving all these things, right? So now you discover that it's still failing. What is failing here? You are 1 year old, but remember we kept it dynamic here. We just left it as years. So that's where the problem is now coming. It's now complaining that this is supposed to be you are 1 year, not years old. So we need to then make this year and years of a thing dynamic. Like we need to make that part also dynamic, right? So what are we going to do here? Okay, we could do a very simple check like this. We can find out if we can do something like const. Let's see, edge check. Let me keep this thing outside of this if so that I can use it across. So here we can put something like const. We want to check if this, okay, I don't know if you understand what the problem is here. It's complaining that, oh, even for 1, you are saying years as though you're referring to many things. If it is just 1, why not just say year and not years, right? So we could put a check here. We could call this like edge check. Let's call it checker. We could say something like we could say something like if age is equal to 1, we can, oh man, I think I'm writing complex things now. But okay, let me just write this thing and see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'll try to use a very basic approach. So, but yeah, if I'm building, this is what I'll do. I'll do this, and then I'll do something like this and call this years. So I can pass in this edge checker here. Let me remove this so that this looks clean. Remove this too. So instead of having years here, I'll remove years completely and then just pass this here. Okay, I think calling it edge checker wasn't a good naming convention, but yeah, let's just do that for now. And I also pass this here. So let me run this and see. Okay. You will be born 10 years to equal you'll be born. Okay, something. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so working with this thing, you have to be very why I love this platform is you have to pay attention to every detail. Something is failing. Let me show you the funny thing that is failing. This thing is expecting that you will be born in 10 years. The full stop should be immediately after the S. But this is, look at what I had put. You will be born in 10 years. But then there's now a space before the full stop. That's what it's feeling. And this is where that problem is coming from on this line. So let me remove this and test again. Okay. Let's see. You'll be born in 1 year to equal you'll be born in 1 year. Let me see. Oh, that is here. that is here. You will be born. So this is where we outputted you will be born in. So what is coming here is obviously 1, but we outputted years. Okay. So this is what is happening here now. This is what is happening here. Let's say we did, for example, we did past year is 2002 minus my birth year 2003. This is going to give us -1. So at this point now, age is -1. It is not equal to 1. So we're saying this condition is saying that if age is equal to 1, then assign age checker to be year. But if it is not, then assign it to be years, right? So that's what is happening here. So when you check, age is -1. -1 is not equal to 1. Then you now assign age checker to be years. Then it now filled here, right? So we could even do something like, so here now, maybe to even stop that from happening, I will have to go complex. Yeah, but we have used this. So we could just even do that math.abs. So abs here always returns like a positive number. So what this guy does is, anytime you pass in a negative number here, it's going to return a positive number. Let me come back to our terminal. See desktop. Let me open this up. Why is it taking so long? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's come back to these guys. There's something I want to show us here quickly. Let me check out to main, and then check out B run lesson 6. So let me just create a JavaScript file here called test.js. So this is what we're trying to do. Let's say we have, you understand what console.log is? Let me zoom this. Console.log. Let's say we have math.abs. So we pass in, let's say pass in -100. Let's console log this number now. Let's run this node lesson. No, this is not lesson. Node test.js. You see, it returned 100. So anytime you pass in any negative number here, let me pass 1, -1. You see, return a +1. Let me pass in a positive number. Let me put a number that I've not used before. Let's say 1,000. 10,000 is fine. Run this. You see, return it. So if it's a positive number, it's going to return a positive number back to you. If it's a negative number, it's going to return a positive number. So what we're trying to do here is, when you do this calculation about age, whether you got a positive or a negative number, if it is a positive number, fine. Check if that positive number is equal to 1. If that number is equal to 1, then save year. Let me call this, give it a better name, year. Okay. I want to give this, let me just call it year check or year naming. Due to lack of better word. So we are going to replace this with year naming, replace this as well with year naming, right? So this is what is happening here. Do your target year minus my birth year. Whether you got a positive number or a negative number, I want it to be a positive. Check, is that number equal to 1? If yes, then my year naming should be year. If not, it should be years, right? So let's run this now again and see which one will fail. You see all test cases have passed. So you can view, so it means you have passed this test. You can now attempt it. Let's attempt. So it will now check across different years. So different tests. Oh, it passed this test, passed this test. It tested for 2012 and 2016, 1989 and 2000. Like, yeah, it will test for all different test cases and then pass. So this at this point, you can now, yeah, you have submitted, right? You could go to the next question. Click next. Yeah, meanwhile, you can as well see other people's solution, right? Let me go back. You can as well see other people's solutions for this same particular problem we have solved. This is how other people have solved it. If M, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they gave M and return you were born in this year. If, oh, they're using this, right? This, blah, you can see different solutions. This is somebody using a switch case here. Somebody using as if here. You can see someone using old news. You can see a lot of funny things here, good stuff as well. Yeah. So you can always go to the next one and then you see a new challenge. Complete the following. Sorry, complete the function. Oh, did I change it? Okay. ATM machine allows 4 or 6-digit PIN code, and the PIN code cannot contain anything but exactly 4 digits or exactly 6 digits. If the function is passed, a valid PIN string return true, else return false. So then I've given you examples now. 1, 2, 3, 4 true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 false. Yeah, let's try this one too. This one too looks pretty simple and straightforward. I think this will be the last one we'll solve, and then we can go into other things. So this is another one
Good evening,
that,
sir.
yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Eh, I know I'm not supposed to ask this question because it's
Oh, you're
the fault.
supposed to ask a question. Come
No,
on
I mean
now.
the fault is from my own end, and the thing is that I'm a Muslim, so I have to pray between 8 and 10 and 8:30. That's why I do normally come in late. So the whole thing you are doing, I don't really understand. It's like the platform you are even using now. I don't even understand the platform you are using.
Okay, fine. We'll have the recordings to go through again because
Okay.
I've showed like us different platforms, but this one we're currently using is called Code Wars. Code Wars. This is it. So you could just create an account and try. So basically, this guy allow you. No, sorry, it's not Cow Wars. Code War. Yeah, this is it. So there are a lot of other guys. You could see Lit Code. You could see Neat Code. Yeah, but you could see Hacker Rank. I think Hacker Rank. There are a lot of those guys out there. So this just helps you practice algorithm problem solving skills. It just puts you okay. Now that you learn JavaScript, how can you use JavaScript to solve real world problems, right? So it then present like real world problems to you to use your JavaScript and try to solve them. So, and this is the same thinking you usually take in when you're solving or you're building an application that is solving a real world problem, right? So Hackathon just help you build that momentum, that thinking skills, practice for interviews. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I have interviewed for roles whereby I was given algorithms to solve, right? And then, yeah, things like that, even down to maybe like school programs where I've given algorithms to solve and the rest, right? So basically, this whole platform, this is us trying to solve problems with JavaScript. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes, sir. Thank
Ping.
you very much. Yes, sir.
All right. All right.
Thank
So cool. This is another problem now that we have been given. ATM machine allow 4 or 6 digit pin. It allow 4 or 6 digit pin code. Codes. Okay, it allow 4 or 6 digit pin codes, and pin codes cannot contain anything but exactly 4 digits or exactly 6 digits. They have now given us this one is funny. They have now given us example to look at. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the user input 4 digits, return true. So if the function is passed a valid pin string, you know what strings are already, return true, else return false. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is true. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is false. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits, but return false. Why? Because there's like a number A, right? So we are to build the function that it will accept. So you can even see some other samples here, right? If you pass only one, just one was passed, you return false. Just 2 digit false, 3 false, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 digit false. This is 6 false, 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 right? So these are different test cases. So 1, 0, 0, and on. But now if you look at this one, there's this test case. It should return false for pins which contains characters other than digits. Characters other than digits. You know, we have like a dot. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, it is false. And then we have E2, 3, 4. It still return false. So basically, what the question wants us is we should ensure that what the user is imputing is a number. If you look at this subheading, they call this rejects. There is this concept I didn't cover, right? Called rejects. Rejects in JavaScript. So this is rejects. Rejects expression is a topic of its own. I'm just thinking how I can solve this problem without using rejects, right? But it's like a whole topic of its own where you run like matches on something. But let's see if we can try this. Let's see if we can try this. Okay. I don't want to use rejects. I do not want to use rejects. And I don't want to leave this problem unsolved. If not, it's actually a very straightforward problem. Let me just solve it. I'll just solve it and then try to explain if I can. God help me with this one. Okay. So if I'm solving this, maybe for an interview, I could do something like this. My keys, / where is my angle? Okay, it's here. Angle, and then I can do something like this, followed by a D, and then I could pass in 4 here, and then where is this sign? My pipe. This is a pipe. Then I can use this followed by forward / and then I can pass a D, and then pass in 6, and use like where's my $sign? $/, and then I can put a dot here, and I can see test, and I will just pass in pin, and that is all. Let me test and see. Let's see. Okay. So it actually passed for some cases, but it failed for 5. Wrong output for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Expected true or false. Let me see my rejects. Forward slash greater than sign backward slash D4. I think this is a pipe. Okay, I think I missed my dollar sign here. Let me test this and see. Yeah, all text pass. So now the next thing is somewhere explain this rubbish you wrote. Okay, I will try. I will try. But maybe we could have like a different session where we talk about this concept of rejects in detail. So rejects, let me see if I can use a doc. So rejects is just stand for regular expressions. Like there are patterns used to match characters combination in string. Like you just it's like a pattern you define to match characters. Let me see if you're using a regular expression the trees. Let me see if I can get something. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. You know what? Let me ask Gemini to help me so that I can explain. Somebody's hands up. Somebody want to help us explain rejects. Okay. Generate a simple explanation for JavaScript rejects with examples so I can explain to a 10 years old. Let's see what this guy will give me. Maybe I can use whatever you give me to explain. Okay, think of JavaScript reject shorts. Okay, this like I was saying, this is just the short form for regular expressions like find and replace. Good. Yeah, it's like find and replace to on a steroid. Imagine you have a giant toolbox filled with mix up toys and you want to find only the red blocks. Okay, basically you have like a box filled with different toys and then you want to find the red blocks. Instead of looking through every single item one by one, you give your friend a special instruction. Look for anything that is rounded, small and red. Rejects is just a special way to write that instruction so the computer knows exactly what to look for in a pile of text. How to use it in JavaScript. Okay, in JavaScript you create regex pattern inside 2 forward slashes. Great. So if you notice, I started this guy with I can write this thing. Let me see. Let me split this thing so that I can begin with const. Let me call this instruction. I can begin with const instruction and pass in this. So remember, you from what we are reading, regex is more like you're giving the computer instruction. Like if you look at what we had here. So it's like you're giving your friend an instruction. Look for anything red that is round, small. Anything round, small, and red, right? So that's like almost the same instruction here. So we could call this, they can be called patterns, but yeah, I'm just calling it that, okay, this is the instruction. So to write your regex, it first begin with these two. You first put in your 2 forward slash, like this is the format, right? And each of these signs has like a unique meaning. Let me see, come back here. Okay.
Sir, is there
Okay.
any way you can help us increase the font?
Yeah, sure. Does this work? Let me resume this too. It's better, right?
No, I can't still see it clearly. Like D nice, like this one and this side is clear.
Okay. You can come here.
It's
Zoom
okay
this
like
guy.
this. It's okay like this.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, the code part is
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, this is the whole thing, right? It begins with this guy. This guy means like, oh, this is the start. This dollar sign means like this is the end. So you here you like pass range. This is like digits. This tells the computer to look for any number from 0 to 9. Um, 0 to 9. So if I come back to this place, remember we have explained this is like the start. So all your rejects fall in between here, right? So there are two instructions here, actually. Let me, okay. Yeah, there are two instructions here. This is the first instruction. Start here, right? Oops. This is the start of the first instruction. This is the start of the second instruction. This is an or sign. Remember when we were doing yesterday's sessions, we were using this pipe. This is like an or or, right? I mean, or as in this. That's what this pipe here signifies. So if I come back here, so this is like digits. This tells the computer to look for any number from 0 to 9. So if I come back to this place, so I'm telling the computer to check. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to look for like a. Okay. I'm trying to look for like another typical example. Okay, yeah, I can try. So yeah, we already understand that to write our pattern, it begins with forward slash and still ends with forward slash. You understand this part. And then you also understand that to start, you begin with, okay, let me be writing this thing above so it can make sense. Let me call it pattern. So you start with oh, 2 forward slash. You're writing your instruction in the middle, right? So it begins with the up sign. This is like saying, oh, this is the start. And the dollar sign is like, oh, this is the end. So this like the end of, no, not like that kind of end. Let me just keep it here. So this is like the start of the string you want to check. Then it begins. I now added forward backslash D, which matches any digit from 0 to 9. I think we have that here. Yeah, the digit. This tells the computer to look for any digit from 0 to 9, right? So then inside of this curly bracelet, I now specify 4 digits, right? 4 digits. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is the end of this one. So you're looking for digits, numbers. So this pattern is now looking for numbers, it's not looking for alphabet. So that's the end of the first version of it, because the instructions said that the ATM allow 4 digits or 6 digits. So I'm done with this first part of it. Then that was where I now introduced the pipe. Or you can also, this is the start of a new check. Match digits. Sorry, this is match digits, 6 digits, right? And this is the end of it. So this is our pattern. So basically, this is an instruction we are giving to the computer that, hey, guy, our instructions start from here, from this first forward slash, and ends at this last forward slash. There are two instructions I'm giving you here. You have to do check for any of them, right? I want you to check match digits. Okay, sorry, yeah, this is your stats. I want you to check digits, 4 digits from, yeah, I want you to match for these 4 digits, right? And then end it here. So this is like just the end of the first command. It's just pretty straightforward. You start match digits between from tell match digits from 0 to 9, but I want you to match specifically check for 4 digits. This side, I want you to specifically check if the digits pass are 6. By digits, here I'm referring to numbers, I'm not referring to letters or anything. So then you now come back and do a test. So what I'm now doing is pattern. I'll call the pattern. So this is pattern dot. It comes with like a test. So this test, let me see, this guy explained test. Did not explain test, but yeah, we can find it here in this doc. We can find it in this doc somewhere here. Yes, this is test. Test for a match in a string, and it returns true or false. That's where we now have this dot test. And then what are we testing? We are testing the inputs that will be passed here, and then just return the value. And that was what we did here. So if we attempt it, it is still going on. Yeah, it still passed the whole test. I'm not sure I did like a good explanation of reject, but yeah, don't worry, we'll organize a full session where we'll talk about strictly rejects, right? But yeah, you barely see people writing rejects and all, but it's a cool topic. Did that make any sense at all? Are you sure it made sense? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, so as well, you can see other people's solutions here. Okay, awesome. You can see other people's solutions here. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done something as simple as this. Oh, but they still wrote a reject. You just need it, right? Because that's the only thing that can help you check if every character passes a number. Except you want to manually run through and check, have like an array of A, B to Z, and then check if any number there pass. I was just checking to see if anybody did that. Oh, this guy used pass int. This was what I was saying. Do something as long as this, and then be checking every digit that comes in. If it is either any of this, is it 0, 1, 2? You run through the whole. Yeah, this was another person did the same thing here. Another person did the same thing here. Right? Yeah, so you guys can explore this platform. You can always click next. You see cool problems. It just keep giving you different problems to solve. This is another problem. I think let's just stop it. Yeah, just create an account and try to play with this platform. You'll love it, basically. Right. So today I think we just have a few minutes. So with our few minutes, I want us to build something really cool. It's a master session, so we're going to be doing more of building. So this is lesson 6. So here I want us to try to build something like an e-commerce platform using a couple of just if only a landing page or something, but would fetch and display data. So let me have like we have our
please help us to meet so that we can see very well, sir.
Okay, I should zoom in.
Yes, sir. I don't really see the text.
How about now?
It's okay like this.
Yeah, so okay, so I just created a new folder, lesson 6, added the HTML file inside. Boilerplate, already this makes sense. You guys understand, we'll call this our e-commerce storefront. Could be just a storefront. Let me see. Then we could have our CSS file. Let me call this styles.css. Put in our CSS here. We can start this page, let it go live. Yeah, it's now running here. So connect in our CSS file using style. Let me try this. We'll write something like style. Sorry. So at style dot src. Yeah, no, that didn't give me what I wanted. I was looking, okay, but it's fine. So we can call in our style file. This is our CSS file. We link it. No, this is not style. We're supposed to do link, right? Yeah, this is the right thing to do. So for CSS, we use link. So we've linked this to this. So let's check if it is working. To check, we could just target the HTML. Remember, this is the HTML. We could target this guy and just give it a background color. Say, okay, the background color of black. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So that is looking as though it wasn't connected. Okay, yeah. It didn't work. So good. I love those mistakes. So we linked it. So yeah, like we tried for JavaScript the other time. When you connect, you will want to test if this thing is working. From my own experience, when I was also learning, I will connect a CSS file. I will be writing, and I will not be seeing anything happening. What's happening, man? These are my village people that are after me, not knowing that maybe there are like slight mistakes. So I have to like devise a means to check anytime I connect a file, right? So now that I've connected this file, I came here, I see background color black. It did not change to black, which means something is wrong. So you could go back, check this line again, style sheet. But now look at the name. This is style.css. But the name here is styles with an S. So I'll put an S now. Save it. Go back. Now see the background has changed to black. Just to test, you could change this color from black to red. Come back here. It has changed to red. At this point, you are now convinced that your CSS is working. So you could maybe get rid of this, or let's see if we could get like a cool background color to use. Let's try this. Let me see how it looks. Yeah, not bad. Then the next part is to add our app.js. This is our JavaScript file, and as well connect it. So you can put it at the bottom, put it, if you're keeping it here, then you know what to do. So this is going to be script, and then we'll pass in our app.js. We'll also want to check if this is working. We can come back here and do console.log. It's working. It's working. Save this, go to that file and inspect it and check your console. It's working. Now that I've seen this, it means that one too is successfully connected. So we don't need this line again. Good. So yeah, we want to just build a basic landing page it's like a storefront. We could do something like this. This is what I was trying to explain something to some people. So this is what we just want to build. Just want to build like one single page like this. We could have maybe menu items above here, and then we could have like maybe a hero section like this here, and then below here we could have our items displayed here, like maybe in cards, um, something like this. So this could be like an item. This is another item. Let me just keep this. Yeah. So this is another item. Then we could see have them floating below. Just a simple page like this. In building front end, data usually come from back end, right? So usually you make API calls. This lesson I think is going to take longer than expected. Are we fine with that?
Yes, so I'm cool. Thank God I have light. There is light.
Okay. Are we all fine with that? Okay, King has accepted. Raymond Safa said yes. And Precious, Joseph, Destiny. Are we fine with this call being a bit longer than usual?
Yeah, we are free, sir.
All right, cool. So this is what we want to build, right? So, but to get this data, usually if you're connecting to a backend, the backend, when you make an API call, it returns data to you. We are also going to make an API call. We are getting API. So there are fake APIs you can use for testing. There's this API called fake platform called fake API. Let me check fake API. Uh-huh. You can see fake store API. There's another one here called fake API for e-commerce, users, products, and all. Let me see this guy. So it has 20 products. Click to view docs. So let me see. This is good. I like this. So usually, if you're working as a front-end engineer, our course is front-end engineering. The back-end guys will build an API and give you like API documentation so that you know the data you're calling, the API calls, and how the responses are going to look like. They use different platforms. Some will use things like Swagger Docs. They'll generate Swagger Docs and give you. And yeah, Swagger Docs for document API documentation. Which APIs did I push recently? That I can show you typical. Yeah, they could use platforms like this. You see the APIs and then the methods and all. They could use Postman collections. They can design it in form of Postman docs, API docs. Yeah, something like they can give like a Postman collection. But the long and short is it usually comes in a format that looks like this, something like this. Something like this. So under product, you see, get is like a method. So there are, if you went through that course on how the internet works, you come across this method. I think it's explained in that course on your elements. If you went through that course, you come across this method. So get is like fetching things, post is like adding things, and all that, right? So this is the API we're going to be calling. Make API calls to this guy, and then display that data here, right? So yeah, let's see what we can do. So basically, this is what we are building. Let, let me drop this in the group. Well, oh, I want to make a screenshot of this and send it to all. Yeah, so this is what we are building. This is what we are building. So this is an e-commerce storefront fetching data from fake store API. So we're using just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Um, so we are building. So this is the platform. Let me copy this docs and also send it here in the group so that you guys can always pick it and also try out something. Cool. So back to our JavaScript. I can close this. I can close this. I can close. I can come back to this. So we have generated our boilerplate. You understand this? These are metadata. You can get rid of them. We can just leave it. Or let me just keep things clean. You know what title is. If I currently go to this place, you can see e-commerce storefront is coming from here. E-commerce storefront. That's the title here. So we have linked our style sheet. We have linked our JavaScript. So all these things are in the head section, right? They're in the head section. Shit, I recall. No, no worry. Attend to that later. So they're all in the head section. So then we have the body. This is where we're going to be writing our code. So I want to keep it the HTML file very simple, so that we'll use JavaScript to control a lot of those things. So we could have like maybe a section here called header. So this header could hold just like a h1. You can call this what we call this? We call this like our store header, and then we could have a section. So basically, this header part. Let me go back to our design. So this is the header. This is the part I'm calling header. This part, I'll call this part, this is the hero section. So I'll create like a section for this guy, section with a class of hero. So this is like our header section, right? And this is, then this part here, this side, this very particular box here, I'll use it as a div, and I'll call this will be more like our product container, right? And then yeah, these are product container, and then yeah, and then we can just fetch all of these ones using JavaScript and inject it inside the app. So we're going to make our HTML file very simple and very basic. So we could have, what did I say we're going to do here? Section. So we could use an element called section. Remember the dot hero. So you just create a section tag and then create this guy. So this one is for this section here. Then we'll come down here again. We could have our main hash. So for hash now, that's an ID product. What do we call it? Product container. We could call this our product container. So it has created the main tag with an ID of product container. And let me add a class to this guy and call this guy product grid. Product grid. Yeah. So we have our JS here. Let's not forget to add async. But if you don't want to do this async thing, all what you need to do is just grab this guy and put it at the bottom, so that before the web browser leave what is reading and then move to JavaScript to read everything in our JavaScript file, it must have consumed everything that is up here already. So I think this is enough for our HTML. This should be enough. This should be enough. So let's come back to our CSS, right? Okay, we could first target, let's come to the body. So the body is, let me close this guy, Command B, and split this guy, and split this guy. So this is our HTML, so that we'll be looking at it. So this is the body, is what I'm targeting here. HTML was this. I gave it this background color, Alice blue. You can see it looking Alice blue, right? So we only have this head section. We wrote store header inside. This is our store header, right? We can build, if time permits, we just even try to even do like an actual menu there. So our CSS, we can have, so we have targeted body. So you can even define like font family. So font family is just similar to your Microsoft Word where you have different font families, right? Here too, that's where you can specify font family. I just want to try a lot of these properties. You can here specify margin 0. So remember for margin, let me hover on this to see. It didn't give me the definition I want, but usually you have like margin top, margin bottom. Let me show you. Let me comment this. You could have something like this. Let's say you want to give margin just on the top. You could do something like margin. Yeah, look at them here. Top, bottom, left, right. Top, bottom. But if you just say margin, this is going to, whatever values you define here is going to apply to the top, bottom, left, and right. Right? So yeah, that's basically what I want to do here. Then we could have padding. Padding as well has padding top, left, so padding top, left, bottom, right. So padding is just the space inside of the container, right? But if you not specify this left, right, center, it means it's going to apply to all of them. Right? So I'm just giving a padding of this guy here. So yeah, we can stop here for the whole body section, right? So let's target the header now. So we could do, let me try something we've not tried before. So we target the header tag, and so you can pick one or two elements and style them at the same time. So this is like, I want to style the header, and the same style I'm applying to the header. Let's say I want to apply it to this hero section, class. So for a class, you begin with dots, right? Hero section. So whatever declaration I put here is going to affect both of them. So I can put in like a border. You already know what borders are, right? 2 pixel solid. I think I tried to explain this yesterday. Let me give you the border of, let's see, something like 3 3. That's like close to black. So let's come back. You can see the border on the header section. You see, this is now in, and then you can see this border is here too. Why you see this line tick is because there's another section here. Let me do something. Let me see. Do something like, let me call only the header and do something. And use this margin bottom. So what am I trying to do? The header section is touching, like two of them are like colliding. So I want to put a bottom at, sorry, a margin at the bottom of the header so that it will push this one will come down so that I can see the demarcation between them. So that's why I said border bottom. So let me see, I give it like 50 pixels. I'll come back. You can now see, right, the space. So the header is now standing alone. This guy is now, it's a thick line because there's nothing inside. That's why you're seeing it, the hero section as a thick line. But if there's something in it, then it's going to pop up, right? Yeah. So but I also want, because you know below this hero section, we are going to have this main content, right? So I also want to put a margin at the bottom of this guy and a margin at the bottom of this guy so that this guy will not be colliding with this one as we are seeing it right now. And then when this one come up, it should also not collide with this one, right? So yeah, I could do something like, I can then put in the margin at the bottom here, and let me give it, let's say 50 pixels. Yeah, let's give it 50 pixels. Come back. You can see this has space now. So if we have So imagine we also added this guy to this declaration. Let me put comma dot product grid. You can see this is the product grid as well, right? Hope that makes sense. Okay, then for our text, we want to put, if you notice, this text is like at the extreme. Let's position it in the center. So we could have, but yeah, I don't want to deal with this guy yet. We'll deal with it later. We could have text align. So these are like different properties at the end, justify, but want it at the center. So I'll pick center. So if I come back, you now see these guys at the center, right? So even this hero section, the text is going to be at the center because let's say, let me put content here. Let me call this hero section content, right? So if I do this, you can see hero section content also positioned in the center. Right. So this text align center affects the both of them, right? Yeah. For now, let me remove this guy. Let's remove this guy. Let's keep the CSS basic for now. Then let's target our product grid. Product grid. Before we do product grid, let me keep it there. Let's do small JavaScript so that things will start coming to life here, and then we can then remember CSS is just to put style. So let's bring things to life first, right? So we'll go to our app.js, our app.js. This is the one that is going to be tricky. So let me keep it this side and open our HTML here. So from our knowledge of what we had yesterday, so we can first pick this container, right? Because this container is where we want to be displaying all our stuff, right? We can do const, let's call this container is equal to, there are two ways you can do this thing. You can do document dot get element by ID, you can see it here, and then you can just pass in the ID here. This is going to work, right? Let me console log it. You see console.log container. So let's check our console. Console is here. You can see container here, right? I believe you can see this. Let me zoom this guy too. I believe you can see this, right? Or the second approach is you can as well do something like this. Document.get query selector. This was the one we're using. But because this is an ID, we'll now write a hash here. Right? Let's save it and refresh this. And let's see. You can see, we still have it here. Right? So you can either, if maybe you see somebody doing this, or you see somebody doing get element by ID, still fine. Because it's an ID, right? So you could just easily do element by ID, and then you're not passing this again. I hope that makes sense, right? So we now have that container. So the next thing we are going to do now is to write a function. We understand what functions are, but this function I want us to write. Let me not go the approach I'm thinking, because if I go the approach, I may cause small confusion, right? So basically, but I'll say it. I wanted to write an asynchronous function, something like this. It begins with the keyword async. So yeah, maybe another thing I will want you guys to take home is to go and learn about asynchronous. Let me even put it here. These are rejects. Asynchronous functions in JavaScript. I think we have this in our LMS. I think that note covers it. let me check. I think when I was preparing JavaScript lessons, I added asynchronous functions. I think we have asynchronous functions. Sorry, I want to confirm if we have it in our course notes. Let me preview this course. I want to check if we have it. Internet is very good. I think I saw it. I think I saw it. But yeah, don't worry. I will not go that route. I'll keep things simple for now. Maybe the next workshop we'll have, I'll try asynchronous. So yeah, we have picked our container, we logged it, and we're able to see it. So the next thing we need to do now is to make our API call. So if you come to this doc, already you can see request samples. Yeah, this is like our request samples, right? You can actually pick this and use it. Let me copy this and paste it here. So there's this fetch in JavaScript fetch. Fetch. Okay. Let me not just use this thing and leave it. Let's find an explanation to it. But basically, what fetch does is it helps you make JavaScript, make API calls, right? It helps you make API calls. So fetch is an inbuilt JavaScript method that helps you make that API calls, right? But you maybe when we start using React, you can use libraries like Axios, Axios, Axios npm. Yeah, Axios. It helps you also make JavaScript calls. But fetch, let me see, fetch method in JavaScript. So while you read up async, also try to read up fetch. So it's a method in JavaScript, it's built in browser, yeah. And Node.js global function needs to make asynchronous network requests. You just basically, long and short, this guy helps you make API calls. That's just the long and short of it, right? So that is what you can see being used here. It's inbuilt, right? So and that's what we are using here. Fetch, this is the API / the product. You can check, get, yeah, this is the API call. So usually, according to the doc, this is the response we are going to get. It's an array. You can see this angle bracelet. Then if you look inside, there's an object. We have treated arrays of objects, if you remember that lesson, right? From knowledge of arrays of objects, you understand this is like an array. Sorry, this is an object inside of an array. You can have multiple of these things, right? Let me expand it and see. Okay, it's not expandable. Yeah, but yeah, you can have multiple of this, right? So the response is going to come back in this format. It's going to return with an ID, the title of the product, the price, the description, the category, and then the image, right? So that's basically what we are supposed to get here. So you start with fetch, you pass in the API endpoint. So usually API endpoints, they're just URLs, right? And then we are using dot, then this is the response. So the response will come back as like, okay, let me see. Let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see. Before I do this, let me console log this guy so you know exactly what is coming back here. Command X. Let's do console dot log response. So we'll see some gibberish stuff will likely come back. So this is it. Let me refresh. Yeah, this is our JS file. So this is the response. So yeah, this is the response that came back. This is the URL we visited and all. Let me go. So it returned okay to be true. Yeah, the status is 200, status code of 200. If you go back to our LMS, check that how the internet works. I think all those status code are also explained there, right? Yeah, so this is just what came back. So just what we'll then do is we'll use this response.json, we'll convert it into a JSON file, and then we'll capture the data. This is an arrow function. We've talked about arrow functions. Some of these things may not make sense now, but yeah, I know it will make sense as time goes on. But for now, just take a look at this. Understand the syntax first. It begins with fetch. It's just fetch. There's a bracket. Then you have your, let me comment this guy. So it's just a fetch. Then you have your dot then, followed by this dot then again. There are two dot thens, right? Because you're dealing with an asynchronous operation. When you look that out, it's going to make sense. So inside of this place, because after this first, so this is where you then pass in your API endpoint. Your API endpoint go here. Then the second dot then. So when you make, so what this was happening, this fetch is going to call this API. This API is going to return a response. And that response, you are now capturing that response here. You can name this anything. Let's call this res. And then you could do something like, this is where we now convert this response that is coming back into a JSON. So this is res.json. You convert this guy into a JSON here in this first dot then. So the second dot then, now you want to collect that JSON. So you have another arrow function here. So this dot then will pass in this value to the next dot then. So this is what's happening. This one makes the API call for you. It fetches, get the response, send the response to the next dot then. The next dot then captures the response and converts it into a JSON file, and then pass it into the next dot then. Then the next dot then captures it as a data. So let me console log the final response. Now this is dot log our data, right? So this is no longer required. So let me come back here. Now you can see this is the response coming back. All the products. Remember, the API said the how many products? I thought I saw 20 somewhere. I thought I saw some. Okay, click on get. Okay. Yeah, but it's returning 20 products. So these are the products that are being returned. I think there was a place I saw they mentioned returns 20 products. So, but yeah, these are the 20 products. It's an array. You can see it begins with square bracket. It also ends with square bracket. It then have the curly bracelet. It means to show you that it's an array of objects. So these are the different products. So we now have all these things now. So it's left for us to start displaying all of those information on the browser, right? So now let's try that.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
From the fake store API, where do you get this? Where do you copy this code from?
I think
Which part?
I shared. So you don't need to. Yeah, okay, I'll first show you. But what I want you to first get is understand the syntax. It's
Okay.
just it's just three things. It's just fetch this dot then normal English dot then again. Then inside of this, there's an arrow function. There's an arrow function. There's another arrow function inside of this guy. There's another arrow function. This guy fetches from the API. So this is where you usually pass any API at all you're working with. Let me see if I can get another fake API. There are a lot of fake APIs. Fake API. Let me see what this first guy will give me. Dogs, dogs, products. This one is giving me e-commerce. Lauren, this one is giving me text. But anyway, let's just fall back. It's just you're just passing your API here. So this API, this fetch makes the call to this API and return the response here. So you capture this response here and then convert that response to a JSON.
Okay.
.json. So this JSON is automatically passed into the next then, and this is where your data lies. So from here you have your data. You can do whatever you want to do inside of this place with your data.
So
But
the
yeah,
data is coming.
where where we copied that is here now. It's just here. Once you click on product, this is it here. It's right here.
Okay.
If you're writing Python, you can see the syntax, PHP, and all that. Yeah, ask your next question.
Okay. So the data is coming from where?
It's coming from the API.
The API. Okay.
Yes. So the API, when I came to my escalate draw, there was some notes I erased here. I was also trying to explain almost same concept. But yeah, let me try that again. So in applications, I think I've explained this thing. You have like your front end here, your front end. This front end often refers to as client. This front end is the user-facing side. User-facing side. What the users are seeing, right? This is what is, and this is what we are learning to build. So in this guy again, you have your application also has like a back end, which is more like maybe you can call it the server side, right? And then it has another layer to it called the database. The database. So when a user visits your application, right, and then maybe the person is trying to log in, he will input his email and password here. Those information are captured by your front end. Sorry. So those information are captured by your front end and sent to the back end. So the back end collects this information. So, oh, I said something. Let me go back. I said your email and password are captured on the front and sent to the back end. The question is, how are they sent to the back end? Using APIs. So these APIs are written here and then exposed as links. So what you see here is like a backend was built, and then this is an API. This backend communicates. So once you submit your email and password, this backend collects it, does its usual validation, and then check the database. Do we have this person inside our database? If that person's record exists, the database is going to make it available for the backend. The backend in turn is going to now reply you on the front end that, oh, welcome back, log into your dashboard. So this communication, all of this communication is happening via an API. So there's this layer, this back layer now exposes a URL. This one is talking to the database. So all that data is coming from this place. And this guy is the one talking to this guy. to collect that data and make it available here. So what this guy gave us is a URL. This is the URL. Does that make any sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So the API now is serving as an intermediary.
Yes, it's serving as an intermediary. It's just as you enter the restaurant, the person will go and pick food from the kitchen and
Yeah,
come
the
and
API is like the waiter. Like the
yeah,
waiter.
it's like a waiter, I told, will come and serve you.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, so that's where this data is coming from, basically. So now, yeah, we have our data right here. I think we've seen our data. Yeah, and I really print it. Destiny.
Good evening, sir.
Dude, what is it?
The API, my question is, who built it? Because the one we are using now is a fake one. So let me say, for example, you want to build a real project. Are you the one that
The
will?
backend guys. The backend guys built it.
That's the answer.
Okay. But
It's
they
here.
have original ones. This one is just like if a one that they just create like sample that we can use.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, sir. I wanted to know that.
thank you. All right, good. All right, let's come back. So we now have our data here. So we now want to start injecting this data into our application, right? So this is where the data lies, in this place. In this place. So let me make this big. So we are going to do all our manipulation here, right? Okay. I'm going to write a couple of things. I'm thinking the simplest one to write. Okay. 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 So this is our data. All right, I'll try. So we can have something like data dot. You know the data is an array, right? Let me call back. The data is an array. Okay, I've removed the console. So yeah, but the data basically is an array. Console.log data. The data is an array, or we can call this our product, right? Let me call this product. So this makes sense. Product. So that API returns this product to us. So this product is an array. There are different operations you can perform on an array. I think I was showing us that yesterday when we are looking at the chat sheet. Let me bring back that chat sheet because there's a method there I want to use. Now, I don't just want to jump into it and start using it without giving you heads up of what it is all about. I'm trying to look for that chat sheet. Yeah, I found it. Uh, let's open up quickly. Let's look at arrays. Look, yeah, this is functions. Oops. String method. Oh, yeah, regular expressions I was trying to explain. Very hard. It's here. The math method. I'm looking for arrays. Where are you? Where?
Sir, please,
Yes. Sorry, what?
sir, you are going to send us this document.
I'll do that today,
So you are
please.
going to
If I
send us
don't,
this document.
send me. I will do that today. I'll do that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, so there's, I think what I want to even use is not even here. It's here. Okay. Okay, let me check for loop. Okay, let me check loops. If it is in loops. Please give me water. Ah, 4. Okay. Guys, permit me to confuse you a little bit, but I'll try to find you after I've confused you. I'll try to look for you guys. Don't worry. But let me just confuse you just very little, but I'll look for you guys and bring you back to speed.
With you.
Meanwhile, I've also shared the document. So this is what I want to do. I've downloaded and sent the document to you guys. So we have products. Product is an array. Product is an array. So I want to loop. This is the word. Loop over the array. And what I plan to use is I plan to use for each. Don't worry. I will try to I'll try to bring you guys back. So for each. So basically what for each does is like, it's as good as you have a box that has different items inside. So you want to remove each of these items and unpack it. Like how you remove one. Oh, like maybe it's your birthday, you have like so many gifts, they brought so many gifts to you, and then all those gifts were now put inside another very big box. So you want to now start unpacking your gifts. You dip your hand inside and remove one at a time. One, you unwrap it. Oh, this is fine, keep it. You go back again, you dip your hand, remove one at a time. Okay, let me not use gift. Biscuits. You bought a small biscuit pack because I used to buy it a lot, right? Then anytime you want to eat, you dip your hand, remove one at a time, tear it, and then you eat it. It still take all the biscuit takes the same shape and format. They all look the same, right? A biscuit of a carton of cream crackers, each piece you remove from that box looks the same as the next one you're going to remove and all that. So this for loop is as good as that process of you dipping your hand, removing one item, unboxing it, picking another one. So it's a loop that runs continuously. It's going to do that, remove one, unbox, remove one, unbox, until all the items inside of that box are finished. That's what for loop does. So basically, products came back as a big bucket, right? It came back as a big bucket. So what I want to then do now is I want to dip my hand inside products. This is which I want to dip my hand inside this product and remove one at a time. So I've removed a product. So this is a product with single, right? One at a time, and then unbox it. Let me show you something. If I even console.log product at this point, product at this point, let's go to the UI, and you can see, right? So now it's like printing one at a time. But initially, console log it was like a big bucket. But now it's printing one. So it's just picking one, removing one, removing one, removing one. That's what for each is doing. It dips inside the big buckets and then pick one product and then console log it. So now instead of picking one product and console logging it, I want to pick one product and first use JavaScript to create an element. Then the second thing I would do is I will inject this create an element. Yeah, I will inject this element, or let me not use it. I will insert the element in the DOM. Let me go to that chart sheet. Chart sheet. Dom. Yes, this is dom. If you look at dom, you will see append a child. Add a new child to an element as the last child. So I'll be using this method called append a child. It's like I've written HTML outside of HTML, inside JavaScript. And then I'm now carrying that HTML element and then injecting it, putting it inside of the main HTML file that we wrote. This is what I'm saying. We are writing HTML here, and we'll carry that HTML and use JavaScript and insert it inside of this place. That's what we're trying to do, right? So first is we're going to create what we want to do, right? So we could create like a card, const card. So by card, what do I mean? Let me come back to our drawing. So this is our card. This is the card. So we want to create a card, this card in JavaScript, and then insert it inside product container. That's what we want to achieve, right? So I've created, say, const card, document as usual, the what's the word? Create. We are creating an element. So create an element. So this element we want to create is a div. If you look at the cheat sheet, you see first child, last child, clone. I'm sure you should see create, yeah, elements. Or we've done get elements. I'm sure you should see create elements somewhere. But yeah, I've shared this. You could take a look at it. I'm sure you should see create elements somewhere. Somewhere. So we have created a div, right? Then the cool part is we can even give this div a class. This card dot class name. So you can see, give it a class name. I can call this like you can call this class, let's see, product. This is a product card. This is a product card. Oh, interesting. There's something we'll do here. So this is a product card. So all of this process, okay, we created an element and assigned a class to it. So that's what we just did here. We created an element and assigned a class to it. So the next thing we want to do now is, yeah, let's build that element. So we can do something like card. So now we want to put values on that card dot inner HTML. The inner HTML is equal to, I'm using backtick. This is a backtick. So inside of this backtick, I can now have img. This stands for image, right? This is an image tag. I think we've used image tags. Yeah, we have. img, you know, you usually have like a source, an src. So the source now, let me comment this guy and show us something here. Console.log product. So let's come back to this guy. So these are the products. Let's open just one of the products. So if you see this object, it has a category description, it has an image. So there's an image here. So this is what we want to display there. So we can now say, okay, we have an image there. So we can say this can take double quotation because we're using backticks here. Can pass in product dot image. Remember, when we're treating objects and when we're treating objects we said you could do something like this. You could have something like an object that looks like this. Let's say maybe this is called const user is equal to this. And then we can see user has name equal to Samuel. And then you could see something like age is 20. So if you want to access the name of this object, you could do something like Samuel, sorry, something like if you console log, you do something like console.log user dot name, this thing is going to output Samuel. So it's that same logic we bring in here. Product is for each. After we deep for each, we have picked out one. That one now, we want to pick out the image of it, right? We can also pass in an auth. Remember auth, talked about auth as well. Auth are more like descriptions of images, right? So we could just pass in the image name. So we could say the product name here, product dot. Let's see what product is being displayed as. I think it's this thing I'm doing. Let me comment this thing so we can see it. Good. Uh, so there's like product dot title. So let's say we're using this title of the product here. Can have product dot title. So we can close this forward slash this. Yeah, so that's the image we could have. So basically, this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to achieve. In this card, we want to keep that image somewhere here, right? We want to keep the name of the product maybe below it here, right? And then we can then drop the price of the product here. So that's what we want to do for each of the cards. So on top, we have the image. The next thing we said we want to keep is the title, right? So I could have that title as maybe a H3 element. Let's close H3. Oops. H3. So inside of here, we can then fetch and display product dot title here, right? And then we could see have like p tag here. Let's put a p tag. This is a p tag, and here we can put our $, quality bracelets, products dot let me see. Comment. I want to see. Let me comment all this so that it will not affect. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, it's named price, right? But there's no, what do you call it? There's no currency attached to it. So I can, let's go sweep dot price. So if one can put a currency outside here, maybe it's like N for Naira, right? So now we have created this component, or we have built this component. So the next step now will be to inject it inside. So we want to put it inside of container. Remember, container is this guy. This is container. So we want to inject all these things inside of this container here, right? So we could do container. Remember, we have grabbed container above here. Container dot append a child. We append a child and call that child card. This is the card. Remember, we created the card here, right? So yeah, this is on. So let's see our UI. Let's see. Oh, nice. See, the products are here. So we just need to do one more thing so
Wow,
that
wow,
let's
wow.
remember
This look like
our,
magic. Oh.
our design was in grid format, right? So let's tie it. I'll come it. I will answer your question. So let's come back to our CSS and do just a little styling to that container, to this guy here. Let's put a little style to this guy. Dot grid. All what we just need to do is let's give it border, okay, because from our design we sketch a border, right? 1 pixel solid, and let's give it the same color CC here, and then you can use, I think we've tried using grid. In our last session we used grid. Yeah, grid templates, columns. So this is where you can then say, okay, repeat. So I just want let it auto fit. I think there's something like auto fit. Yeah, there's something like auto fit. And then you can do, I'm just trying to remember these things so that maybe you can be curious to learn them. I can't remember using the last time I tried some of these things. Auto fix, min max. So min max are set to values. The like the width, and then like, so one FR. Yeah, I think this should do. Let's see. Oh, think, what are we? The product grid. Let me see. The product grid. Yeah. The product container. Product grid. Let's see. Product grid. The container. I want to see why our style sheet is. Okay, this is the product grid. Did I copy that correctly? It's a class, product grid, style, border. Let me see first. Did that border appeared? Yeah, there's a border here. So the border worked. Okay. Yeah, the border worked. Yeah. So what is wrong? Oh, for you to use grid template, you have to first pass in a display and say that, okay, want it to display as a grid. Yeah, I think this should work now. So you can see it's coming, it's taking shape, gradual. So, but you can see it's now aligning this way. So what we then need to do next is, let's also style, let me remove this guy from our console. Let's style our card. We give it this class product card. So for our product card now, let's also give it like a border of 1 pixel solid, and let's maintain the same color CC. And what again? Let me see. Okay, yeah, the borders are coming out. Let me see. Columns auto fit, min max 200 pixels. Let me try something. Let's give this guy width of 200 pixels and see. I think something is wrong with this command. Read template. Okay, let's put a gap and see if this is gonna work. Gap 20 pixels. Okay, there's a gap here, but let me see what's happening. Yeah, if you
In my
notice,
experience, I think one R is telling it to be on one row. Everything should be on one row.
no, it's actually floating down, right? But I think
Okay.
what you see is floating down. But I think where the problem is coming from now is the images. If you look at the text, the title is still within this container. The price is within, but the image is now overlapping. I don't know if you see that. Do you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see that.
So let's try to give that guy. Let's give image a width of, let's say, 100 pixels and see. It was the image. See, it's now taking shape. So can give it 200 pixels, and then let me give it a height of 150 pixels. Let me see. It's coming up, but you can make this look better. Let me put it 150 as well. So we have this kind of. So yeah, the other thing is styling. You just to style, put things in the right position. So this card now can even put a padding to the card. Let's even put a padding of, let's say, like 15 pixels. Yeah, so that it's no longer touching the wall. You can see it's looking a bit better. Yeah, I think it's a bit better. So we have our e-commerce storefront. So as we had time, could see put something here as your landing, as your hero section. But yeah, I think that will be all for today. So yeah, questions. Destiny. Oh,
Okay, so my question is it the API that already had the images in it? Because I don't know where you get the
yeah,
images from.
it's
I
the
just saw
API
that you
that's
run.
it is
Okay,
the API. If you
so I
look
was
at the
wondering.
API docs, this is the format. The API returns the title, it returns a price, it returns a description, a category, and then it returns an image. If we want to even display the category of this product, we can as well do that. It's just to come back to this place, right? Maybe before this title, let me copy this guy and just use it quickly.
Okay, so
Product,
the
um,
like question.
hmm?
So I'm asking.
T O. So this is, you see categories now showing men's clothing, jewelries, because we are displaying the category here.
Okay, so the API you're going to use has to do with like the type of website or you want to create. For example, this is an e-commerce font. That's why the API has to do with e-commerce. Then if it's maybe, let me see, another type, let me say fashion, you have to use an API that has to do with fashion. Is that how it is?
If you're building your application, you build your API by yourself, not like you go and copy an API somewhere and use. Your backend guys build your API.
Okay, based on the website
Yes,
that they want to create. Okay.
based on what you want to build. It's not they. So imagine that you now you're building a website for for cosmetics. It means your data is going to be, your APIs will be returning you only your cosmetics information. Because you're saving, it's what you save in the database that will be returned. Yes, Joseph.
Yeah, I wanted to explain to her that there's a database somewhere that collects those data. Now, let me make it clear. Like if you are building your own application by yourself, it's divided into two. The front end aspect, which is what we're doing now, and then there's a back end aspect. Those guys take care of the server, and there's a database for you that has all those things you are now seeing from there. So the API call is calling it directly from the database. So you build your own API and you have your own database by yourself. You don't use we're only using this one for sample. So that's what you're supposed to understand.
Now,
So
if I want to
Thank you.
build a website now that has to do with API, so I must work together with backend guy.
yeah,
So what of if I decided to bring everything up by myself? I
you learn
design
back.
the UI. Yeah.
You learn backend now, you become a full stack now.
So I'll now start picking all these things by myself one by one.
No, you learn a backend code on its own entirely
Ah,
for you to be able to build an API.
Okay.
Yeah.
focus
So,
on this one.
so API, if
I will
someone
do
can
like
build API.
like a backend session. Maybe some time we were done with this, and maybe later.
Okay, so
Mm.
someone can build API.
Yes, someone can do it. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I thought maybe it's something that you just pay for, then you subscribe for it.
You
No,
pay the
no.
backend guys to build the API now if you don't know
So it's the same thing that you pay some people to build it.
for you.
Okay, thank you
There's
very much. I
something
really
called batch
appreciate it.
service, right? But let's not get into that. Yeah, okay. That's correct. All right, so any other question?
So one message that just pop up now.
It's just a comment.
Okay.
So if there are no questions, thank you so much, guys, for today. It was a long session actually. Started
Sir,
from 2 hours plus. You want to
sir,
ask that? Yeah,
sir, please
yes.
can you help us with that JavaScript code on our chat so that we can practice it?
It's this thing is let me even push it. Let me push this git status. All right.
We are
So
pushing it to.
I'll drop the link to that repo as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the LMS? What's happening there? Like are those I was it was not moving. I made a complaint and I don't know whether it's fixed yet.
Sorry, like I've not had time
Yeah,
lately, occupied with a lot of stuff, but
of
I
course.
will make time and fix it.
Okay.
No, me, I'm still on HTML, sir.
Sir,
Yeah,
please one question.
ask your
If
question.
I want, let me see, for example, for cosmetics, is there where will I go and get the fake API that already has it? Is it this fake API that we get it from, like the website you got this one that you're using?